Welcome to the Plead the Fifth podcast, recorded in the Bullhucker studio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Plead the Fifth podcast. Unless you're new, then hey, welcome aboard. Hope you like what you see. We're recording here at Bullhucker Studios in the bowels of the Brush Emporium, 210 Clayton Street here in Brush, Colorado. This week we have a married couple. Tyler and Yolanda Zink come on and answer 12 questions apiece about drunken cartoon characters, conspiracy theories, and everything in between. If you like what you see on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Go ahead and click that. It's a small click for you, but a huge click for us. Now time for the podcast.
Philip K. Dick.
Philip K. Dick's grave.
The sci-fi writer.
Like on his headstone, they
Do you
put
know
this
who
like
that is?
legit marble one.
What's the big thing he wrote?
Total Recall and Blade Runner were the books more than the movies. The movies obviously were adaptations, but
Right.
The actual books were written by him. Probably the biggest celebrity buried in the cemetery outside of people that like built the town or founders or stuff like that.
Right.
Because his sister's buried here, so
Right.
he just decided wherever he lived in life, hey, I'll come back home, be buried next to my sister, and all the sci-fi nerds that come out and this is one of the best places to stop. Philip K. Dick lived here.
Yeah, you know who Brush's claim to fame is? Philip Day. His last name's Day. He's a jockey.
There you go.
Yeah, but he's like the Jordan of jockeys, I guess. Like he's the greatest horse jockey of all time. Like I'm part of the museum board. They're this day, Pat Day. His name's Pat Day, and they're talking about how Pat Day, this great Pat Day, and I'm like, all right, I gotta ask who the hell's Pat. I lived here my whole life. Who's Pat Day? And they're like, oh, Larry. He's a jockey. I'm like, oh, I didn't get that trading card as a child. I don't know what is that a big deal? Is it huge?
Before they tore down the school, this was a locker he used to get stuffed in. Because he's a little guy, he fits.
On the top where your books go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be closer to that the point guard in Space Jam? Was it Mosley or Mosey?
Muggsy
Bogues.
Bogues.
Similar.
Little
Yes.
guy.
Yeah, just on the down low.
Mosley. That's exactly what they call him.
Everybody called him that. Yeah.
Muggsy Bogues. Yeah, what was he, 5'4" or something?
Yeah, he was like the
Tiny.
shortest basketball player
He
ever.
could dunk
whatever.
a basketball. No, Spud Webb could dunk. Could he dunk? I can't remember. Spud Webb was also the same side. He could also dunk. So.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. All right. You guys, let's give you both a die and roll those bad boys. What do you each roll?
So you get a die?
Don't launch it. You'll launch it.
How far?
Right in front of you.
Right there. All right,
6 you get a
7.
win.
So that's where we're going to start if that's all cool with you guys.
Absolutely.
So who rolled the big one, Tyler? Oh, shit. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to count, and it's Brush High School education, so it's tough at times. You know what I mean? It's challenging. It's not great. So, Tyler, you rolled the big one, so you ready to go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys know if you want to skip one, you can. Just let me know.
Oh, no.
So,
We reviewed it. We have nothing to skip.
Yeah.
I'm worried I have too many answers. Like, well, you want the now answer or the yesterday
we
answer?
can give both. We
Yeah.
can give both. And by the way, I'm putting your question on a future episode, Yolanda. So,
Yay.
yeah. Oh, and by the way, I got called an asshole just so that people out there know when I got here because Yolanda wanted to answer. Yolanda, how would you explain color to a blind person?
You don't, you narcissistic a-hole.
She did have to set me up. Is that what she did? Was that a setup?
She had this plan. She was just like, I'm waiting for my moment. Wow.
You know, it'd be fun to shit on Larry. Do you know how that'd be fun? Just to shit on, yeah.
just for funsies. No, but seriously, like, why would you want? And I thought about it when Gordon threw it out there. I was like, ugh, really, dude? Like, if you've never known something, why would you try and tease somebody with something they've never known? But in all fairness, in all honesty, most blind people aren't actually 100% blind. It's very few. Like the percentages are in the single digits of the amount of blind people who are completely blackout, nothing at all. So
Really?
yeah, it's very small. That part of the community is very small. It's much more common for them to have partial vision or
Monochromatic.
parts of your vision. Some people have color sight, but they don't. Everything's fuzzy, blurry. Other people like me who have no color recognition at all, but the blobs. I see the shadows, the blobs of things. But
Okay, I did not know that.
yeah, it's a much larger people who are what you would call visually impaired as opposed to blind in somebody's main purview, if you want,
Definition.
Yeah, when I tell somebody, oh, hey, I'm blind, and then like, but you're looking at me. Well, I mean, I'm blind, but I'm not like blind.
I can hear you. You know that, right?
I'm like Daredevil. I can pinpoint you through sonar and your voice, stupid.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Ask
get
my
you.
son. He's taken a few chanclas to the face, some socks. I mean, there's been a lot.
We're sitting in a car. Like, I know where I am to a point. Like, oh, it's the big moving machine.
Yeah.
You're in the back seat. Like, I know you're here.
Jackson, how many chanclas you take to the head, bro?
In my life, or in
Since her vision's been declining, how many times? How accurate has she gotten on a scale from 1 to 10?
Well, I never really got thrown at chancla before her vision was more acted up. Then it finally came around, and just this year alone, it's been like 5.
It's been a good year. Only 5.
Yeah, and we're in April, by the way. Therefore, take that for what you will. So, all right, you guys ready to get started?
Absolutely.
I got set up to be that. That was kind of shitty, Yolanda. Just to set me up.
Did you expect anything?
No, I didn't. I already know what was said about you. So
Don't discredit yourself with counting. You have at least 9 or 10 fingers, right? So I mean, you're fine there.
Yeah, I got 2 right here. Guess which one's pointing at you?
I can't see you, bro.
I know you can't. All
Nope,
right,
sorry.
Tyler. This should be fun because I know you're a nerd. Tyler, who is the biggest villain in movie history?
So I had to the first one, when you just hear it, it's Darth Vader, right?
Bam.
The most evil guy. We all grew up,
Right.
Even if you don't like Star Wars, you know who that is.
Sure.
But then you have like the whole redemption story. You have the prequels with like the reasons what led him there, which we didn't have when it first came out.
Yeah.
So I kind of kicked it around and I went back to my childhood, and I think the answer is Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians.
That is the first time I've heard that answer here.
Because she just wants to murder puppies to make a coat because it's a Tuesday. Like there's no, you can't reason with that. There's no like, what's your motivation? Yeah, I just feel like I can make a coat out of anything. I want to make a coat out of that.
I could have a white coat and just put black spots on it, or I could scalp some puppies. That's fair.
Yeah. It was like, I want the purest form. I don't need 100 old dogs. I need 100 puppies. I need veal, right? Like, I was like, that's pretty darn evil. I'm gonna go with that. And that was a kid's movie.
Cruella de Vil. You know what? Good for you. That's so far. You know what? Good luck topping that, Yolanda. But that's a great. My mother loves Cruella de Vil. I don't know. There's something there. So I might have had brothers and sisters I don't know about. You know what I mean? But she kept the chunky one to keep her warm. I guess I don't know.
There you go.
Anyway, all right, Yolanda. Who was the biggest villain in movie history?
So along the same vein as Tyler's, I kind of went with somebody who you thought was bad, but in the end was not a bad guy. Was actually a good guy, and I went with throwback to The Sandlot, Hercules, the dog.
Hercules.
Right? Everybody was terrified of Hercules, the dog. The dog next door.
Because the ball would go over. Okay, it's been a while since I've watched the movie.
Yeah, because
the beast on the other side
The
of the
beast,
fence.
okay, yeah.
You throw a whole goat and you get a little leg back, forever, right? So you're terrified.
Is he the biggest villain, though? Is he the most misunderstood villain in movie history?
See, I think it's both. He's the biggest villain because he's eating kids, he's eating baseballs. Who eats baseballs? Who eats kids, right? And so
Who eats kids? Jeffrey Dahmer. Next question, please.
The youngest on the Donner Party. Yeah,
It goes full circle. I'll tell you who.
He's somebody's kid.
Hannibal Lecter, who might be the biggest villain in movie history. Thank you very much. See,
diabolical for sure.
Diabolical. Okay. All right.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Okay, Yolanda, we're going to stick with you. Yolanda, you walk into a room and every single person you ever met is in that room. Who are you finding first?
Oh, man, you went from super happy to super serious.
That's how these questions roll, sister.
Yikes. That answer came pretty quickly for me. It'd definitely be my niece that passed away, just because we didn't get to know her as a person per se. She's just so little, so it'd instantly be her because I didn't get any time with her.
How old was she?
3 months.
3 months old.
3 months, yeah. So it was, you didn't get to know it all. So it would definitely be Lexi for sure. Run into her first just to see, and then and then it poses the question: when you get there, do you go to them? Do you see them as they are when they died, or when it doesn't have to be somebody dead, but or is it how they would be now as an adult?
How long ago was this?
2016. So she'd be almost 10.
Okay, so it's here at 9 years old. That's what you're asking. So
yeah. So
wild.
I think that would be the first one. As I've got grandparents and stuff that have passed away, but I had way more time with them, and I even thought about like Chad and Missy, but I had way more time with them than the 3 months I had with her. So
actually, Missy's the artist. If you can see behind you, the headphones with the color, and then you can't see behind you, but she's the artist who actually did some of the art on that wall for me before she passed away. So
she was an amazing artist, and her poured stuff, and even Chad with his creativity and all the stuff he'd do too. Yeah,
crazy stuff, man. When did they pass away? It's been a while.
been almost 2 years this June.
Okay, yeah, because he served on the city council with me too for a while. So, yeah.
Yeah, the solstice, and forever it'll be the solstice because that's what they were doing, their solstice ride.
Right.
So
hippies, bro, hippies. That's
yeah, they
they're
were.
good people.
Proud of it too.
They were. So, she had like the big dreads in her hair and all that, you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's such a small town. I always tell her that's such a brave move, but it was cool. And I'm like, can I touch your hair? I know it's weird. You probably get that a lot, but I just want to touch it. Is that all right? And she's like, go ahead. I'm just like, it's so crazy, man.
It was so typical Miss too. Like just that. I don't know if you ever saw her big ass thigh tattoo of the fox in the mirror.
I did not.
Holy cow! It was just so typical of Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, they're both great. So, all right, Tyler, same question to you. You walk into a room, every single person you've ever met is in that room. Who are you finding first?
You can tell that we've obviously been married and together for so long because my answer was almost identical. I had a sister that passed away back in '95, and I internally when we were talking about the questions was, I'm with you. Do we see them as they would be now, or do we see them as what they were when they weren't around?
Right.
So would I be looking at a 5-year-old Jessica, or would I be looking at somebody who's like closer to middle age like myself?
Right.
So it was just that interesting. I just want to find out what that answer is, and I choose that person for that reason.
Right. I'm gonna get off the subject a little bit. How old are you?
I am 40.
That's not middle age, okay? That's still young. That's still young.
They said middle age is 35. It was all over the news and all. Oh yeah, they changed it recently, and I went, oh man, I'm overdue. I get an extra nap today, honey. I am in the wrong bracket. My Saturday is over. I'm gonna go head to the couch. Wake me up in 4 hours. It's my nappy nap time.
I turned 50 in July, and I had chest pains walking down those stairs. So that's super concerning. Then.
Where's my insurance discounts? My McDonald's discount? My free coffee at Arby's?
Yeah. Why am I still paying taxes like an a-hole?
Yeah.
So 95, she passed away.
Yes.
That'd be a serious. I'd like to hear people's opinion on that in the comments below. Do you think you get to see them how they would be now aged, or as they passed? Right.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Because if I picked like the first person that ever drove my bus when I was a kid or whatever, it's like I know her. I've met her. She's in Texas right now. I mean, I could talk to her. We're Facebook friends.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But that one doesn't answer any questions of what it could be or what it might not be.
Right. That's interesting. No one's ever brought that one up yet before. I don't know. It'd be kind of crazy. And if they have aged in heaven, well, do you age in heaven? You can't really, can you?
I don't think so, right? That's kind of the rules.
Yeah.
That's that's what we went down to, that rabbit hole. And I was like, well, when you get to heaven, like what happens there? Because I got super into this Left Behind series that this guy over here started me up on, and I'm not like a super religious person. I don't talk religion or politics with anybody except for Ty, and that's because I can outbully him. But I just don't. But in that it talks about like the rapture and stuff, and now you get taken back, and so I started like kind of researching a little bit, and there's all these differing opinions because they say that when you get to heaven, there's no one decided factor. So you see the person across from you how you want to see them, and they see you how they want to see you. It doesn't matter, like when your grandma goes and she sees her husband, she sees 18-year-old Henry, not 75-year-old Henry when he passed away. It's whatever you want to see. So,
okay.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I've always thought heaven's just your greatest hits. You just get to relive your greatest hits. That's my honest God opinion. I think that's what, you know what I mean? Like it's, or like Supernatural. You ever watch that show?
Yeah.
At the end, how they get sick. Yeah, everybody's just drinking beer on their porch. That's how I think heaven should do. If God's listening, that's my vote, dude. Okay, so it's
that was the lunchtime conversation when we were sitting there. It was like the room isn't heaven. The room is just a room. What if this is like Quantum Leap? Like it doesn't count, right? Like, we're all like, there's Jack's in the corner. What's Quantum Leap? Shut up, sit down.
That's
Your middle-aged dad is telling stories right now. Okay, leave me alone.
What's Quantum Leap? You feel old, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you a funny story. We were just in Vegas. And we were getting presents for her kids, and we were at the Hard Rock Cafe, and she texted her 16-year-old and said, "Is that still cool?" And she didn't know what the Hard Rock Cafe was. So,
yep, it sure is.
So they're getting Hard Rock Cafe shirts. So they'll be like, "Well, I don't even know what this is. This must be some old people shit." So
none of those actors are acting anymore that like started it. They're all like, "Oh no, the dementia's slipping."
That's Planet Hollywood, isn't it?
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I think Hard Rock Cafe is just a corporate whore is what I think it is.
Money grab.
So,
No, it's that place where you go and you break the stones open and you get like the little rings and stuff, or is that bath bombs? I mean, it's the same thing.
What are you talking about?
You're old. Don't worry.
All right.
Your viewers.
I am old. Thank you very much. Beats the alternative. All right. Yolanda, we're going to stick with you. Yolanda, looking back at all the cartoon characters you grew up with, which one do you think had a drinking or drug problem?
100% Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit. Why? What?
That guy was. There had to be Valium. There had to be some bipolar meds. Maybe a few antipsychotics, and definitely some like vodka that you can't smell on his breath for sure.
Roger Rabbit. That's a great
Rabbit.
one.
Look at his lady. She'd drive you nuts too, right?
She's hot.
I know.
Jessica Rabbit don't play.
That's trouble, though, right?
Yeah,
You're not ready.
Yeah.
She out-leveled you, right? You swung too hard for the fences.
That's true.
I don't know
That's
how you
true.
got as far as you did, but yeah, good job.
Hey, man, I'll give my answer after I hear Tyler, just in case we're rocking the same answer here. So, Tyler, looking back on all the cartoon characters you grew up with, which one do you think had a drinking or drug problem?
Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf. Also didn't see that coming. Why is that?
That dude was oblivious to everything going on. It didn't matter what was happening. You're like, oh no, the houses have been flooded. That's fine. Who cares? They kidnapped Smurfette. It's fine. We'll find another girl. Whatever. Who cares? It was too easy. Just breathe it in.
Drinking or drugs. What do you think exactly he's on?
Because the houses, it's got to be shrooms. Like, just straight up. It's psychedelics.
Okay. There's house.
He's just...
They eat someone's house every week. We're eating Grumpy's house today, and we're all going to trip like crazy.
He's in his house just nibbling on the wall. Like, you don't even know what's going on.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
He's the only one that can grow hair. Like,
That's true.
He's doing something different than everybody else.
That's funny. Mine was Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, because he has the munchies all day long and talks to his dog.
The dog talks,
Something's up with that cat, bro. So, all right.
I saw a ghost. Right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
No, it's Old Man Withers.
Yeah. We're an incredibly great mask. All right, Tyler, we'll stick with you. Tyler, what's one talent you wish came naturally to you?
So again, two answers. If it was like a physical talent or something like that, I always wanted to play the drums. I don't know why. My brain, my arms, and my legs do not work together. That is something where you have to have even timing between all four limbs, and I got one who's on speed or something like that, and the rest are just too slow to catch up. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
If it was like a character flaw or something like that, something I'd want to increase a talent on, it would be the ability to learn when to shut up. I love the sound of my own voice.
Word.
I think I'm the funniest guy in the world, even if I view others as equally funny to myself. And of course, not having the ability to just shut up for 5 seconds has gotten me in trouble in my lifetime. So that.
I don't mean to say this in front of your wife, but you and I might be soulmates, because I've connected to that. The ability to shut up. Someone nodded in the corner? Yeah, probably. All right.
It's never happened. He passed it on too.
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, that little shit over there is the same. It's like mini Tyler. His aunt calls it like little brown Tyler. It's true. Mexican Tyler all day.
Mexican Tyler.
This version has a better defense against the sun than the previous version, so it's slowly evolving over time. Yeah.
The asshole gene evolves.
That's exactly it.
That's funny, because I'm horrible about it too. Like, I think that like my grandmother told me, there's a little devil on one shoulder, a little angel on the other, and they're always trying to, they're always talking to you, and then the devil always tells me, like,
always wins.
You should say this. It's super funny. And sometimes the angel's like, yeah, give it a shot. It might be, but then the angel's like,
no, that's a good answer. Do what he said.
Yeah.
It's better than what I had.
I don't agree with that dude very often, but you should say it to that chick you barely know. Who knows? Let's get crazy,
See what sticks.
Yeah, whack job. All right, Yolanda, what's a talent you wish came naturally to you?
So I kind of went. I had two answers too on that one. So if it was something like a physical thing, like a poker face, I cannot hide my emotions to save my soul.
Really?
And it's only gotten worse since I've lost my sight.
Right.
Like, I have no filter on a good day, and then my eyebrows give me away for everything. Like, we'll be sitting there and somebody will say something, and Tyler's like, hey, they can see your face. I'm like, oh yeah, shit.
Relax your forehead.
So, like, I've always got that, like, oh, what the fuck? Like, always.
Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they can't see you.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It is. It's a problem. So I wish that was easier to maintain or easier for me to do, but it's not. So, and then, I mean, it's like composing music. I was very musical growing up. I cannot compose. There was one time I had to write a solo for a concert, and I struggled, man. You would have thought that Yeah, it was bad. I was looking everywhere, to teachers, to fellow students, and it still was. It was shitty. Like, I'm like, you're gonna put me up there? We're just gonna put just come on now. Like,
Yeah.
give me a break, girl. Like,
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you need to learn. My music teacher, my band teacher, she's like, you have to learn how to do it. And I'm like, for what? This is a high school thing. I'm not going any further.
Yeah, I'm not going pro. Yeah, for sure.
I wish I could write music or have that creative ability, but I don't.
So I was thinking in my head when you said just because they can see you, I can't see you, doesn't mean you can't see me. I don't have that, obviously, but I do have the. Back many years ago when I used to go to the gym, I found out the hard way, just because you can't hear something because you have your earbuds on doesn't mean people can't hear you. So when you try and let one squeeze by, and you're like, oh, that was quiet. That fart was absolutely quiet. And the girl on the treadmill behind you is like glaring at you. You're like, oh, that's right.
That and the struggle squeal when you pick up something you should be act tough.
That's right. But you got the old man rock playing in your ears, so nobody heard that because I didn't hear that. So everything's all good. We're all good. Turns out, Yolanda, you're not good.
Dude, heightened senses too. Like, I mean, for me, like, I'll be sitting somewhere where, like, I mean, at a track meet or even at like the hockey game and stuff like that, and all of a sudden I'm over here like, and Ty's like, what happened? I'm like, it's coming. I heard it. He's like, well, oh my God.
Kind of an ear to the ground type of thing. You're just like, you can hear him coming. Oh, there it is.
I can picture like that Batman where it's like all the radar when he gets all the cell phones together. Yolanda's like, that chick in the third row, fifth seat over.
Oh yeah.
Just, I don't know if it's a bean dinner or whatever, but it's coming like a cloud. So cover yourself,
Mm-hmm.
It happens at the movie theaters too. We'll go to movies, right? Whether it's here in Morgan County or we go out to the metro area or whatever, and she'll do the headphones with the audio description. Right?
Yeah.
But because of the movie or what's going on, the description is ahead of what the action is because it's trying to explain it before it happens. So we're all watching a horror movie, and it in her ear, it tells her, and the killer pulls up behind him and brandishes a large knife and stabs him in the back. 2, 3, 4. And we all catch up. So she jumps before I jump. So now I jump twice because we're sitting there watching the movie, and I'm like, what? So I don't know if the movies are actually scared or if I'm just scared because things are happening to me.
People think your wife has Tourette's syndrome because she's screaming, run, bitch, run! Like, why is she running? What's going on?
Yeah.
Or I'm laughing at something funny and I'm giggling and they're laughing at me, and then all of a sudden it is funny on the screen and then the whole theater's laughing. But for that few seconds before, I'm this asshole.
That's it. I'm stealing your wife. We're going to a movie one of these days. I want to see that before.
It's interesting.
It's fun.
That's excellent. All right. I don't know who we left off with. So, Tyler, we'll stick with you.
Yeah.
Tyler, what in life do you take for granted the most? This is from Brandon Lake, by the way.
No, a real good one. Again, biased because of our household. The freedom to get up and walk away from a situation, either physically because I don't want to be there, because I'm moving on to something else. In our household, that is not available to everybody. Mm-hmm. If I don't like something that somebody's saying, I can literally just get up, walk away, do my own thing. Yeah. I want to go to work. I feel like walking downtown for no reason because I label it as exercising. In reality, I'm just window shopping and I'm bored. The fact that I can do that is something that I never even considered until we became that household where somebody didn't have that exact availability right then, right there.
Right.
And now I'm seeing it with like some of the older relatives that I have, some that are a little bit more homebound because of whatever's going on with their health or their age or whatever.
Right.
And you sit there and go, nah, it makes sense on why, that person isn't the happiest in the world because they can't even go outside or go, check the mailbox anymore like they used to or stuff like that.
Life is limited to them.
A little bit,
yeah.
So that was one of those like inner reflection, like, oh, that's a good answer. I like that.
That's a great answer, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yolanda, good luck topping that. Yolanda, what in life do you take for granted the most?
The ability to commit memories to memory. Right?
Okay.
So Ty's grandma about a year and a half ago, we found out she has Alzheimer's, and so she's been slowly, the decline has been there, and so in spending more time with her and things, you see that decline, and you recognize how hard it is for her to commit things to memory, the things that are happening, and then additionally on top of that, when I lost my sight, I've always been a very visual person as far as memory goes. And so now, you know, you run into a situation and you're like, oh yeah, no, we've been here before. And I'm like, no, I don't think we have. And it's like, no, we have. And he has to give me another descriptor that gives me that so that I can commit it to memory, you know? Because, you know, before it was, you know, there's the sight, smell, taste type thing, right? Well, now if I don't feel around to find something, I don't know where it's at. Like I'm touching everything. So I think I've really taken for granted the ability to make a memory,
right,
you know, or to keep them. So.
That's a great answer. Both great answers. Okay. You know what? You held up with him, Yolanda. Good for you. That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know, he talks about how he is having the freedom to walk away, right? And it takes me. We were sitting. It's way too much information, but we were sitting at the dinner table one day, and I was like, "Oh man, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go now."
Right.
But when you're blind, you can't just get up and take off and go somewhere, right?
Yeah,
like,
right. Well, you can, but it doesn't turn out well, right?
It doesn't, right? So you gotta manage yourself. So I jumped out of the chair and I whipped around because I knew I had to walk, but I have to walk. We have this like weird little step, like this little about 2-inch step to go down and then into our room or to where the other bathroom is at. And so like I have to kind of walk sideways and careful and kind of stagger step to find out where the ledge is at so that I don't walk off of it. And so these guys, they think they're real hilarious. And so they thought I looked like, what's his name? Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
When he does his little weird...
The foot's in front of the body to find where she's going. Just hands ready.
So, even if I'm pissed off and want to leave a room and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go, and I'm walking, and then they start playing on Alexa the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, they think it's real hilarious, and I'm like, funny guys, yeah, y'all real funny. You got the freedom to leave and I don't, but you're gonna make fun of me for it.
That's pretty great though. It's great you have a good sense of humor about it. You know what I mean? Like it's put yourself on. Like I said, there's a guy from Vegas. So in a dark hotel room when you go, because I'm an old man, so I pee 17 times a night, and trying to find your way back to the bed. You know what I'm saying?
In a room you've never really spent that much time
You're
in.
not really that great, and you know what I mean. My toes have paid the price for that. How I don't have like monkey feet is beyond me because I smack them fuckers on everything. So, all right, great answers, Yolanda. We're gonna stick with you, Yolanda. Now, I'm going to ask you this. I know you pick a job you've had ever, okay? So, Yolanda, what is the one thing about your job that you wish more people understood?
And we talked about this even on the way here. It's like, I don't have a job. And both of the boys are like, no, you do. Because you have a son, you have a husband, you have family, you have in-laws. So, I think I'd have to... homemaker, I guess. I hate that word. I hate it so much. But I wish people understood the struggle of, it sounds really bratty, I guess, of not having enough to do. Right? So when you're home and there's only so much cleaning and cooking and ironing his drawers before you're like, I gotta get out. I gotta do something.
Right.
So I think that's probably one thing I wish that more people understood is that being there and, oh yeah, you get to sit at home and eat bonbons on the couch. Well, we can't afford bonbons every day.
Right.
So, and there's only so much Netflix you can really watch. And the dog and the cat, you know, eventually they're like, bitch, you gotta stop talking to us because we're not gonna answer. So, you know, you call up your sister, like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm working. And I'm like, damn. Well,
I need to find me a man that's bonbon rich. That's what I need to find me. This Tyler shit's got to get old. You know what I'm saying?
We started at the bottom and we're still not there. You know? Still working on it.
I have to have one more Hershey kiss. I'm going to stab his ass.
I told you it's the little cuts. Throwback to the Bullhooker. Tiny cuts.
Yeah,
every day.
We're Werther's original right now. That's it. We're not at Bonbon. We're building up.
I'd be proud to be that, man. I'd be proud to be that. Shit.
What are the ones from the dollar store? They're not even GV from like Walmart, but they're the next level down. Value time.
Yeah. You know, I got to tell you though, about the mother thing. What other job is 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
Right. What other job is 24 hours a day?
Wife too. That doesn't go away either. That's all day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know about that 'cause unless I go to prison, then I don't want to know about that. So, all right.
That's fair.
Tyler, what is one thing about your job that you wish more people understood? What do you do for a living, Ty?
I work at the Fort Morgan Cemetery.
Okay.
So myself and a crew of people are in charge of the maintenance and the upkeep. We obviously do the burial services and retention of historical records.
Okay. What do you wish more people understood?
We don't actually have contact with the bodies.
Okay.
I don't know why that always seems that you work at a cemetery. Ooh, dead people. I'm like, they're not on the top, right? Like, we don't have to like walk around Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
One, two.
Yeah.
And you're in.
The hospital doesn't call us, hey, Tyler, come on down. We got a fresh one. Like, no, that's
That one time. There was that one time.
right. That's more of a mortuary. That's more like a crematorium. We're all connected. We're all different businesses and entities that work together. But I don't. There's no zombies. There's no ghosts. There's no touching of anything.
Okay.
You know, I am given a container. I take care of that container, and then I maintain where that container is located, and that's the gist of it.
Nice.
So,
are you guys doing the thing electronically? Have you already switched to that where the burial plots are all online now? So if you need to find somebody in the cemetery, is that coming for you guys too?
So we have maps and we have a directory. We don't have anything that overlaps the two quite yet. It has come up in conversations whether or not they want to do an even deeper overlap and add more of a GPS type of thing.
Right.
Pinpoint plots and
right.
who owns this, owns that. Ours is still a little more old school than that, but that's kind of the charm of what makes our cemetery different than the next. Some have that, down old home feel. Some are a little bit more, I guess, technologically savvy and all that stuff. And just the differences between municipal versus church-owned versus mortuary-owned or private-owned cemeteries. So, the end game is the same, but how those people got to where they did is just fueled a little differently.
Sure. Rush is in the middle of Dwight Anderson, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Him and Lorand are in the middle of cataloging it online. There's this new program they have, and it's crazy. I saw the books they have right now to look them up, and they're old. Obviously, some of them are like super old. It's pretty wild, man. But Dwight retired. Now he just never leaves the city of Brush. He's there constantly putting his shit in a computer. I'm like, has somebody ever explained to you what retired means, Dwight? You don't come here anymore, dude. But damn guys. So
you guys are up there. You have a Pokestop.
We do. We have Pokestops at our cemetery.
There's a Pokemon stop.
Yeah. For Pokemon Go, there's a couple spots. And you can sit there like, I caught a Pikachu. It's like, oh, Grandma. I'll name this one Grandma because I caught it here.
I'll name this one Mildred after the chick I'm standing on right now.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. So all right.
Middle of a service, all these little shits walking around. Pokeball.
I've never gotten to that game. I don't know. I know people are walking into traffic at one point in time, right, with that damn game.
Oh, yeah.
It was getting dangerous.
It was real bad. It was just one of those, tunnel vision, and, I don't care if that's private property or not. I have to catch this now.
I got to catch that water lizard thing that everybody wants so bad. I don't watch this shit. I don't know. So, anyway, all right. Tyler, we're going to stick with you, brother. Tyler, if you were giving the commencement speech at a high school, what is the one piece of life advice you'd give the kids?
So most people watching this, or when you're asked that question in life, always come up with something like motivational.
Yeah.
They're going to give something that these kids can take with and run and change their lives.
Sure.
Easy.
And mine comes back to a little less privileged of thick skin, short memory for parts of your life. There are going to be things that happen to you that you can't control.
Yeah.
But it is not the end of the world. You do not have to try to convince other people that you have it harder or worse than they do.
Right.
You don't need to cancel culture somebody just because they don't agree with your style. Sometimes take the hit, keep on trucking, move on. There are more important things to take up arms against or to right the injustices of the world or whatever. But
pick your battles.
Yeah. There are more shut up and take it moments than there are stand and fight moments, I think.
Right. Hey, that's a great answer, dude. That is truly a fantastic answer. I like that. That's awesome. I like this question. I like this question because obviously the answer is something that you had to learn.
Oh yeah,
right, and that's why it is. Tyler, how old do you think you were when that you learned that lesson? When you realized that was a lesson?
That's definitely in my adulthood. There was no way.
He hasn't learned that.
Well, that too, but no, that would have been awesome in high school and the formative development years of just like, oh my God, it's such an atrocity of what my parents are doing to me, and then you look back and go, no, that was a good call.
Yeah,
that could have ended poorly. Good save, Mom. You know,
maybe the Pikachu tattoo was a bad idea, Mom. Thank you. Thank you for stopping me from going
I
down
didn't
there.
know tramp stamps were just for girls. Okay, I thought everybody was doing it.
My buddy said the arrow pointing down would be funny. Turns out those bastards. Well, thank you for stopping me, by the way. Thank you.
Google is way more accurate now on what Chinese symbols mean than they were 20 years ago. That really is hamburger. I didn't believe it, but here we are.
All right. Yolanda, same question. Yolanda, if you were giving a commencement speech at a high school, what is the one piece of life advice you'd give the kids?
I tried to think of something that I wish that I would have heard and actually heard while I was, that age. So I went with to live your life.
Right.
Don't live somebody else's life. Don't try and compare your life to somebody else. Don't live to somebody else's expectations. Live your life. And I had heard a long time ago, it's an old adage and I don't know where it comes from or who said it, but comparison is the thief of happiness or joy.
Yes.
So, live your life, because if you constantly compare what you're doing or what you want to do or who you want to be to everything around you or what you're seeing, you're never going to obtain those goals. You're never going to get to that level. You have to live for your life, for you, because your journey and your arrival is never going to be the same as anybody else's.
Yolanda, I'm going to ask the same question I asked Tyler now. Obviously, that's a lesson you had to learn in life.
Oh, yeah.
About how old were you when you think you learned that lesson?
Oh, man, probably in my late 20s, early 30s, when
Right.
you've had those jobs and you're like, no, I'm going to be the next supervisor. I'm going to be the next store manager. I'm going to be the next, and you're looking at it, I got to be better than that guy because that guy's, he's a dumbass. But in the end, dumbass won out.
Yeah. But did he? Or did he?
I guess it depends. I mean, he's still happy, right? He's living his life and he's chilling with his $35,000 a year job. And was I comparing it? Yeah. Would I love to be as happy as that guy is? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I want more money? I sure did.
Yeah.
I went for it, but
You want bonbon money. I got you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even want bonbon money. I want that honey bun money and that expensive stuff.
Boom. It's the truth, man. See, that question came from me because I think the advice I would have given is in two parts is try everything. Don't be afraid of life, with two rules, as long as you aren't hurting yourself or hurting anybody else.
Yeah.
Don't let your insecurities rule your life.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. That's going to be a fun question for the upcoming episodes. Because so far, everybody's answered has given great advice, and you can tell it's advice they learned the hard way.
A lot of parody, right?
Yeah.
Going back to the villain thing, everybody's going to run over probably the same ones once you have a large enough sample size. But yeah, that one's definitely where somebody was like, that moment kicked my ass, and I learned from it, and this is why I'm going to pass it on.
Yeah, it's great advice, man. So, Yolanda, we're going to stick with you. Yolanda, what is the most awkward conversation you've had with your parents?
Oh, cheese and rice. I was talking to Ty about this one. My mom is really, really open, and my dad, my bio dad, he wasn't around for long, and my pops, he's been around for forever, but we don't talk on that kind of level. I mean, yeah, my mom's always been open about everything, so there really wasn't anything awkward, because she's just, she's like, I don't ever want you guys to feel awkward.
Right.
However, my grandma is just was one of those open book people. And so we were taking her to a doctor's appointment. We had to take her up to Aurora to university, and Ty's with me, and we're in my tiny ass little Saturn vehicle. I'm driving, she's sitting passenger, and Ty's squished in the back seat, because I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was funny. It was a clown car. But anyway, we're sitting there chilling. We're talking about fish, goldfish, right? Because I'm like, we're going to get some fish. We had just moved to Greeley by ourselves. We were just doing our own thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna get some fish. And she's like, oh yeah, goldfish are pretty good. And she always had fish. So I was like looking to some support from her.
Yeah.
And she's like, by the way, what are you guys using for protection so you don't end up pregnant? You guys using condoms, the pull-out method? And I'm like,
this is your grandmother.
This is your grandmother. It dies in the back seat.
The half back seat of the tiny third door suicide car, sitting there. My left leg's in the driver's side. And I'm just like, well, she asked you, not me. So I don't even know her real name. You're Mrs. Yo's grandma.
Did you answer her, or did you change the subject?
No, I was like, yeah, grandma. We use protection, and she's like, well, I know you're allergic to a latex, so, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
That's right.
She called
you know me my whole life.
You out.
She did, man. I'm just like, well, damn. You couldn't give a girl a heads up. I would have left his ass at home.
I've only known you for a handful of years in comparison.
As Grandma
I
turns
forgot.
around, he turns around and says, "Hey, raw dog, I'll kill you if you get my granddaughter pregnant." You know?
It's kind of the vibe, right?
Like, that's the pot calling the kettle black,
You know
Mrs.
what,
I've
though?
been married 7 times.
Has she?
She was married like 5, 6, 7, I know, a lot of times.
Good for
She,
her.
like 4 different kids with 4 different baby daddies. And I'm like, we talk about having Nita problems in our household because I got a mama who's got a middle name Anita. I got a grandma who's named Anita. And I got a great grandma who's named Juanita. So we got Nita problems in our household. And that was sure as shit one of them that day.
But you got to respect the fact that she just came out and asked. She didn't beat around the bush.
Oh yeah, no.
She's just like, "Hey, look, you know."
I think she's kind of hoping for an accident. She's like, I'm not going to be around for long, bitch. You gonna hurry up.
Favorite grandkid or not, I don't care. I need to know the answer.
Yeah. Good for her. What was her name?
Anita.
Anita. Heavenly, what's up, Anita? For Tyler, same question. Tyler, what is the most awkward conversation you had with your parents? One of them.
Oh, the easy one, right, would be that middle school health class week where obviously they're like using the school as kind of the way that they can talk about, premarital sex and all this stuff. The awkward conversation of my mom trying to explain the birds and bees to a farm kid who had 0 game in life anyway. I don't know what kind of player she thought she was raising, but I don't think 6th grade Tyler was the Mac Daddy of Mac Daddies, right? I think we were safe, whether I was educated or not. For the health side, no, that's good for everybody to know. But the concern of like, well, we don't want grandkids too soon, do we? Like, from who? Like, are you going to steal somebody else's kids or what? Am I dating somebody who already has kids? Is that the element I'm in? She's a 37-year-old woman named Teresa with 3 kids or what? Like, what am I running into?
Right. I'm with you.
Your English teacher.
Exactly,
My mother used to get on me all the time, like, "I'd like to have a grandchild." So finally, in my 30s, I started telling her, "Well, then you buy the hooker and I'll do my part, Mom. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not good at this. Mom." So, you know what I'm saying?
How do you want this to go?
I don't know. We'll probably get custody.
I'm feeling good.
Little baby Carlos from The Hangover.
Better not backfire, Mom. You know I don't like needles. If I gotta take more than 3 blood tests, I'm gonna be pissed.
I have a house. She didn't. Like I won by default.
I'm gonna end up on Murray, Mom. But whatever gets you a grandchild, that's what's important, you selfish ass. All right. All right, Tyler, let's stick with you, buddy. You 2 are too much. Tyler, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
So you can blame the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it would obviously be like every pizza joint within like 100-mile radius of wherever I am. I'm just going to pick right then and there who has the best pizza, a slice at a time. I don't know how long I get to do it, but I will drag that out in a deathbed filibuster like we've talked about before. No, not yet, guys. I got 3 more slices. Hold on. It's a dead heat, right? Anybody could win this. Yeah. It'll be the March Madness of pizza. Just hold on. Number 8's really kind of sneaking up here.
Right now, what pizza joint would you order from right now?
Dude, I
Rush
like
Emporium. Rush Emporium. I'm sorry.
Definitely top 5.
Okay, thank you.
Woody's, what is it? The wood fire pizza. I don't even know if they're a company anymore. It was something from like in the 90s down in like Lakewood or Aurora or something like that.
Sounds familiar.
That was like one of the best ones I think I ever ran into. If I can still remember all the way back to that, it's got to be the best, I think.
Right.
And again, lots of practice. I have tried it all. I have been to many places. So that's got to be number 1.
All right. Good answer. Yolanda, same question. Yolanda, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
I have to say, I would, you gotta channel some spirits and get my old grandmas down here for some full-on Mexican spread, The everything. Get grandpa out there to it, the carnitas and the carne asada on the grill and some beans, some rice, the tamal, everything. Just everything Mexican. But it has to be the whole spread. And then, when it comes time for them to gas me, you're on your own, bro.
You gas them back after that meal.
If not before, bro.
My favorite part of this question. is you can tell people haven't been in prison. I never have, knock on wood, but when I ask that question, people have these grand answers, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you're getting like the Walmart version of whatever the hell you just said.
Yeah, it's whatever's in the mess hall.
They're not searching Woody's Pizza out. They're not going to come to Brush Emporium for pizza. You're going to get a Tostino's I'm drunk at 2 a.m. pizza. That's what your ass is getting from
some Del Taco
That's
from last
what you're
night.
getting. That's what you're getting.
Yeah, joke's on you. We're 101 miles from every pizza joint possible, so you get nothing.
That's right. That's right.
We followed it to the letter. Sorry.
They're going to write carnitas on the cheapest taco. You know what?
Prison tamales. My uncle told me how to make those one time. I'm like, but why?
What's a prison tamale?
Holy bananas, dude. They use like bags of like crushed up Doritos and then some crushed up ramen, and they get it all wet, and then they put their little bologna slices in the middle of it, and they roll it up, and then they like squish it all together, and it's a prison tamale. And I'm like,
It's just a mush.
That sounds horrible.
It's just pre-chewed food. That's all it is.
at least you get the chili picante, like ramen or what? And he's like, well, you get the expensive ones. Those ones are going to cost you a little extra money. So you just for the packet, the little seasoning? Shit.
I gotta lie to you. You're gonna do some butt stuff.
Like how many tamales you get from one packet of each? He's like, you get one tamale.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Nope.
We can get there, but you got to give up a little bit to get there.
You know what?
Nothing is free in this world.
So next time your family's bitching about making tamales, because mine used to all the time, how much work it is, be like, you should try it in prison, Grandma. Let's quit the bitching, all right? I've not seen you crush up one pack of bologna yet, so let's quit the bitching, all right?
My little cousin that used to live with us, I don't know if it was her mom or somebody. I think it was her mom's friend that stopped by the house. We were making tamales, and she's like, oh my gosh, I want to learn how to do that so bad. And I was like, well, take a seat. We'll take any help we can get. She's like, oh, no. Where do you get one of those little, it's like a tamale maker? And I was like, well, typically you got to go down to like Mexico. You got to find yourself a man. And then 9 months later, you popped out a tamale maker. It's like, I don't know how else you find one of those. She's like, no.
That's what my mom did, right?
She's like, no, it's like a little press. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
She's like, you make tortillas with it. And I'm like, that's the same process. Like, you go to Mexico. I got this guy. His name is Jesus. We call him Chewy.
Yeah.
He's going to take you across the border. I can't guarantee he might bring you back, but that's extra.
Yeah.
But you're going to be coming back. And 9 months later, you'll have a tamale and a tortilla maker.
The little hands work so well with it, you know.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to pay him anything.
Right? Send them back every summer so they can learn how to do it for real.
My grandmother and her sisters, when they were all still alive, I remember they would make the tamale factory, and you didn't walk into the kitchen like you said, because then you were,
You got sucked in.
Yes, you did.
Now you're in it.
And they would bitch how much work it is, and it is a lot of work making tamales.
So you're eating them.
But I would suggest, yes, but maybe we don't make one for everybody on the planet. You know what I mean? You don't.
What's the point? It's like bulk cooking. If you're going to make the mess and you're going to do it, you might as well get the workout.
You say so, Yolanda. I'm just saying we probably don't need 40,000 tamales, okay?
If you're not making at least 12 dozen, then it ain't worth it.
You know what?
Not 12. 12 dozen.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's the minimum. And that's because your chiles come in that big old bag. So you got to use the whole thing. Otherwise, what's worth?
You're not going to use the rest of it. What are you going to save it for?
I guess.
Till the supplies run out. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why it sucks being in Brush sometimes, not picking Pueblo, back in Pueblo with the big Mexican family with the tamales. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I miss that shit. Now it's like bologna. That's what we get now. So I'm getting a prison Mexican dinner for Christmas. So what are we gonna do? So. And I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? I'm grateful to have that bologna.
Exactly. Bologna tamale.
Thanks, Mom. Anyway, so all right, Yolanda, we're gonna stick with you. Yolanda, what is the last thing that reminded you that you were getting older?
Oh shit! My last sports injury.
Which is?
So, in my recent development of not being able to see, I have decided that I'm going to do things that push my limits.
Okay.
And so, my most recent activity that I have decided is knitting. Crocheting, knitting, something.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
I make Christmas stockings.
All right.
And I got a muscle sports injury from knitting.
Real hardcore. It took us out for about 3 weeks.
Knitting?
Yep. We had to shut down the project. Well, thank God these are 2025 stockings. If this was 2024, we will not make the quota. The deadline will pass us.
So you sit there and you're, with your hands like all like T-Rex, right? Because you're like this and you're in the chair and you're watching Fuller House and you're just like, okay, I'm getting there, right? The next thing you know, you go to sit up and then this muscle across here just goes, and you're like, oh shit, I can't breathe, babe, I can't breathe. So then I'm like, I don't know what I did for about a week across my chest and then my shoulders and my neck. And then like a 12-year-old boy, this muscle right here, holy shit. From the lift.
Yeah, you just had a flashback, right?
We called it tennis elbow.
Yes.
Never played tennis in my life.
They have a whole surgery named Tommy John for it, right?
Had the
Baseball.
injury 17 times. Never played that tennis sport in my life.
What'd you do? I started knitting. Wait, what were you knitting? Myself. That's when I officially just, I'm old. I told him, I was like, babe, we gotta go to Sam's Club and we can buy Tylenol now. We can't be buying these little bottles of shit at Walmart no more. I got 20 stockings to make before December.
This injury could flare up at any time. I need to be prepared.
Yeah.
It took me like 2 weeks to recover, man. I looked at that little thing on the couch sitting there and I was like, fuck you, stocking.
I almost died for that shit.
When they get them at Christmas, you fuckers better keep these.
Yolanda, do you ever have fun with your sight thing around Christmas? And like when you're crocheting things, like crochet horribly, say horrible shit on it and be like, it says Merry Christmas, right? Right.
Yep, it does,
And
guys, right?
See which one of your family members are assholes, and they'll be like Yolanda, be like, what's the matter? What's the matter?
It would have been Grandma if she was still around. She would have called out. I see what you did there.
I just do that in general. People are like,
Merry Shitface. What's that mean?
That was aimed at me, wasn't it?
shithy.
All right.
Shithead.
Tyler, same question. What is the last thing that reminds you that you're getting older?
So, the Fort Morgan Cemetery, I'm sure lots of cemeteries do it, but we allow people to get like their community service hours or public service hours. And it wasn't too long ago, I had a younger kid who probably got in trouble for vaping in school or something, right? Got slapped with a couple hours here and there. Didn't like the fact that we can't give him hours when we're not there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it was like, well, you're still a kid. You're in high school for Fort Morgan. Well, you guys have Mondays off, so just show up for a Monday or two. You'll knock it out. You'll be done, dude. You have like 6 months, right? You could milk this for 20 minutes every week if you wanted to, and still hit your deadline.
This is spring break.
I think it was over spring break specifically, but he didn't want to spend his spring break there. Right. So after a little bit of back and forth, in order to establish dominance over the 40-year-old cemetery guy, he called me the N-word, and that I was being disrespectful to him and his...
What nationality is he, by the way?
Not applicable to the word that he used.
Okay.
Like, without incriminating anyby or dropping names or anything.
Okay.
Nope, it doesn't fit where it came from either.
From the Isle of Caucasus.
Yeah. I can't be that jerk that sits there and like kind of punches down on a 15-year-old like, that's not your word.
Yeah.
Historically, my people came up with that word first. I don't even know if you're allowed to use it. Just it's one of those like, yeah, I'm clearly old, because even if I had a problem with somebody, I don't know if that's the tool bag I would have reached into for...
You disrespectful N-word. Like,
yeah.
Really?
It's just one of those like, I don't know if that's a kid thing. Is it an age thing? That's how I know I'm too old, because I don't even know
where he's coming at
the
you.
motivation.
How he's coming at you. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, that's your resolution, or that's your stamp on the conversation, that we're not more available for your crime and punishment type of problems in life right now. Like, that's fair.
If I can make a suggestion, Tyler, if it was me, next time I would use a racial slur at him that didn't match his race at all.
I didn't know if this was a fight fire with fire.
You don't want to match? Okay, well, listen here, and then just throw something there and watch the confused look on his face, you know?
There's been a few of those, hey, listen here, spick and span.
Yeah.
You know where that shit came from?
My great-grandfather died in a war fighting you people. He's like white. It's like, what are you talking about?
And it's those darn Swedes.
Yeah, those damn Swedish. Yeah, they're the worst of bastards.
I'm telling you, he's like family line to Hitler. I mean, he's related.
No.
Sure. Yes, sir.
The country does not equal the dude.
No, I'm talking about your grandpa. Like, he was like, yeah, that homie was like my second cousin, you know?
No proof. Anyway,
let's not incriminate the Zink family if we could today.
Right.
All right.
Just Tyler. Leave
very
me out of it.
sensitive.
That's funny though. Most of the lingo they use now, I don't follow.
Yeah, that's how I know I was old, because I don't even know the source.
Yeah.
Like, where did he pull it from? He's like, this is a good one. I'm gonna wait. Somebody's gonna say something. Wha-bam! Here it is. I have the perfect comeback. This will shut down the conversation.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean,
He
shock
came back
value.
to school and was like, "This boomer, guys, I took him dad. I took him down. Like, no cap. On God, I took him down." I'm like,
I'm built different. Yeah.
I'm built different.
Yes, you are.
That is true.
You win.
That is true. Or start using their lingo that doesn't match.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yes. Riz. So,
Yeah.
all right.
YOLO'd. Yep.
Yep.
I YOLO'd yesterday.
What's
It was-
yellowed? What is that for? What does that mean? Jackson, what's yellowed mean? What's yellowed mean?
YOLO.
YOLO?
Yeah.
You only live once.
Oh, YOLO.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the color yellow.
No. I turned
Oh.
it into a verb and put an ED on it. Right? I YOLO'd yesterday. Right?
That's funnier.
Yeah,
Okay, I get. Okay, I was like, "What's yellow?" That's a new one to me. What's yellowed? Other than that song, great song.
Some kid at school got offended at Jax because he called him my Sigma, and I was like, "Is that like a slang for the N word?" And Jax was like, "No, it means like alpha, like my guy." I'm like, "Then why'd he get offended?" He's like, "I don't know, because he's a douche." Well, then use douche next time, not Sigma, because I at least know what that shit means.
Or Jackson, you don't know what Sigma means. It means something completely horrible. He's told his parents, like, "You know what the Zinc kid called me?" It's like, how do you know you're that race? Stay away from the Zinc boy. He's obviously a clan member. So anyway,
He was Hitler, so
Thanks,
I think
honey.
I saw the salute too, and you can see he's got the little stash.
No. I said over there. It was this hand. The thumb went up. Right, that's a very key component. Right, the other version
Yes.
a little different.
Let's be careful here. Okay, we
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
I don't want Zing to be killed because of the podcast. All right, Tyler, we're gonna stick with you. Tyler, what is something you had to fight hard for in life?
Anything worth anything, right? Like it's a blanket answer, but anything that was worth anything, of course you had to fight for,
Yeah.
right? We have us, right? We have our lifetime together. We have the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in the middle, right? None of it came easy. The stuff that was easy was the stuff that you don't even remember anymore. It's the things that don't have any value. That doesn't mean anything. It was a great item at the time or a status symbol, but in the big picture, who really cares, right?
Yeah.
So anything good in my life that's ever happened, that's what I had to fight for.
It's a great answer, man. It's a great answer. Yolanda, same question. Yolanda, what is something you had to fight hard for in life?
Lots of things, but I think most recently, or what sticks out most recently, is my positivity towards life at this point, like staying positive about my situation. I could sit at home and be the Debbie Downer that's like, I can't do anything, oh, woe is me, but I really fight hard to stay positive and to get up and go do something, something that's going to challenge me, like, you know, my recent sports injury. Those things, they challenge you, so.
Yes, Bo Jackson, we know how you were hurt, yes.
Thank you. So, a little respect for my injury.
Multi-sport athlete, it's hard.
Yeah.
I can make flowered little doilies too. Nobody wants to talk about that anyway.
Yeah.
Positivity, 100%. Just maintaining positivity about just your situation in life.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. As you're sitting in the emergency room next to a guy who's in a car accident who might lose his leg, and you're like, oh my God,
I'm built different.
I was knitting and I hurt my muscle right here. God.
I don't even know what muscle that is.
Life is hard
it's
for
not even
all
a
of us.
boob muscle or anything. It's not a pec. What the fuck is that? That's
It's
clavicle.
clavicle.
It stopped my optional hobby for 2 full weeks, okay? You don't know my life.
I couldn't even lift a jar. Like I had the mason jar with water, and I went to
no.
grab it, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I've been like on this streak for the past month of shit hurting me. Like I'll get over something and then something else will start hurting me, and I'm just like, oh,
My heating pad lives in my bedroom now. It used to live in the linen closet. Now it's like, no, we're just not gonna like it.
Yeah.
It stays.
I keep Advil by the bed now. What's that tell you? So it's,
Yep. Sam's Club style.
The big bottle.
ones.
Yeah, exactly. In bulk.
None of these 100 capsule bullshit. You know, like the 500 capsules, please.
Amen, sister. All
It's an
right.
aspirin routine.
Last question. I'm glad this worked out because this is the question that I think is going to get the most fun answers out of this whole podcast. All right, Yolanda, we're going to start with you. Yolanda, what is a conspiracy theory that you think is absolutely unbelievable, as in you think it's bullshit?
That the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids themselves.
You think they did?
I think they absolutely did, because back then we had morals and ethics and work ethic.
Right.
You know, the slavery. You know what ruined it was the abolishment of slavery. That's what did it.
That's
you know?
what it was. That's what it was.
Here we go. Back to Klansman.
Great answer. Yeah, you're free now, but no more pyramids.
Yep.
Good job, everybody.
That's what I
Good
was like.
job.
You don't get that good shit when you take away the slave work.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why we only have 3. I hope you're happy. We could have had more. No, that's fine.
There's that comic. I got it. Andrew Schultz. Have you heard that
Yeah,
line about the pyramids? Have you heard it, Yolanda?
I don't think so.
He's talking about he goes, the Egyptians. He goes, I don't know about those Egyptians. I don't know. He goes, let me tell you why Mexicans are the hardest working people on the planet. He goes, Mexicans have pyramids. Nobody questions them how they got built.
The Mayans.
You know?
It's legit.
It's like the Amish, dude. It was like a Thursday. They just threw it up there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Nobody said anything.
They
It was just
had a
done.
quinceañera on Saturday, and they're like, we gotta get this shit up, guys. We gotta go. So.
Talking about how everybody takes siestas. Well, when you work that hard, you can.
But you think, to be serious, that the Egyptians actually built those pyramids?
I think they did. Look at how many people they had. They were popping babies out like the Mexicans do. So there was like all kinds of help, and you know, even when they were pregnant out there helping, so they're just
Right.
producing more help as they're dropping babies when they're lifting those big old stones.
Right.
So no, I legit think they built them. I don't think that there was like aliens or anything like that.
Okay, all right.
Well, maybe they're aliens, but not the kind of aliens you think. You know.
Illegal aliens there,
Yeah.
so making tamales in the sign. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
maybe.
All right.
Oh, that'd be real good too.
That would be good,
Egyptian tamales.
Tamale break from lifting the 40-ton brick. Yeah, no, I get it.
Well, they wrap mummies and shit. I'm sure they could wrap some tamales like a boss. You know?
That's shockingly a great. How's no one ever thought of
I mean,
that?
like it fits, right? Like, you're just like, okay, I'll allow it.
The emperor, the
pharaohs.
pharaoh's like, bring in the Mexican. We gotta wrap the mummy. Okay, we do it. We mess it up. They do it perfect every time.
Bro, they taught us. That's how it goes. We should extend that lineage back. You know? Maybe that's why my eyes are the way they are. You're talking about the Egyptian eye shape.
Yeah.
That's what it is. See,
They
that's where
wrap
it
a
came
mummy
from.
like
Got to
a
do it
joint.
right and keep it tight. That's it.
There you go, Ramatut. Sleep
Everybody
forever.
was stoned. That's why they could lift that
No,
shit.
All right.
I didn't know what they were doing.
Tyler, same question. Tyler, what is a conspiracy theory that you think is absolutely unbelievable, as in it's bullshit?
That one has to be that birds aren't real. You know.
What do you mean birds aren't real?
Dude, there's a conspiracy out there that all birds are drones, or that it's a mix. That not every bird you
government,
see is a
man.
real bird. That some of them are, they're drones, they're animatronic, robotic, whatever it is. They're listening devices, they're cameras. Because everybody brings up like, you never see a baby pigeon. They're all adult pigeons. What's a baby pigeon look
I
like?
don't think I've ever heard
Like,
this.
birds
before.
aren't real. And you're like, how are birds not real? Everybody's seen a bird. They've hit a bird. They're they're at the zoo. Kid with the BB gun. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah,
What does he
yeah.
aim for first? A bird.
Yeah.
Right? Don't tell me
They
birds
throw a
aren't
few
real.
fake ones out there so that way, like, they make them, they have like little transmitters in their brain, so they make them run into your car.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones are the fake. Like, they're real birds, but they have transmitters. So that way.
Owned by the
fake
windshield
ones.
companies?
No. Like the
The
Mission
government.
Impossible, like, we'll get rid of the evidence real quick. This drone ain't working so well. Run it into a glass building, Jenkins.
gotcha.
And he just drives the controller. All right. Unit number 4475 is down, sir. All right. Move on to the next one.
I have not heard that conspiracy theory yet.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Birds and pandas. I think some of the shit he listens to,
Wait.
like, he doesn't smoke weed, but I think the people that he listens to smoke a lot of weed.
Pandas. What do you mean pandas? What's that about?
They're just dogs.
The same thing. The pandas aren't actual like panda bears. There's really not that many. It's a dude in a suit type of thing. Because they're not up close. You see a couple like YouTube videos, the sneezing panda surprises mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to do that, right? Like, oh,
Like the guy sneezed and the baby's like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
Okay.
The dog that kind of looks panda shaped sneezed, and the dude in the suit wasn't prepared. Like, oh my gosh, like what was that? Oh yeah, that one's real. I forgot. I'm the fake one.
How's the fake one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
That's that painted dog that lady's trying to kill and wears a coat.
As in the Americans, we figured it out, so that's why they took all the pandas back to China, is because they knew that they were spying on us. There's a whole thing about that.
They're like, they figured something out, the Americans. I mean, we lost that bet.
We had a deal to keep pandas in our country from like Richard Nixon, and then like out of nowhere, a year ago, 2 years ago, they're like, "No, you need to give them all back." Why? You got to recalibrate them? How long's it been?
That's right.
Right? It's been away from the warehouse
Yeah.
for too long, right?
Yeah.
Back to manufacturer.
Got to change our oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But now they're sending them back. Like, we're getting pandas back again. And my son, as lovely as he is, has the best line about it. He's like, yeah, you know why they send them back? Because these fat pandas are all Americanized and all they want to eat is cheeseburgers and they're lazy.
They're defective. You can have it back.
That's what they don't have rights in China. We'll
Yeah,
take care
no,
of them
no.
here, you know.
That's why they don't have no pyramids.
There you go. Well, this podcast went full circle a few times. So,
Once or twice.
guys, what'd you think about the questions?
Loved
they're
them.
awesome.
I think the conspiracy one, I think you need to look at the idea of maybe doing one that you do believe and one that you don't believe.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Get the comparison of where Tyler sits there and is like, yeah, birds are real. That's true.
That's a
I was
great-
like, did you go to the moon? No, we didn't go to the moon. That's
Yeah.
bullshit.
No,
that's
Nobody's been to the
absolute
moon.
bullshit.
Nobody's
Nobody
seen
sat on
it.
the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we went to the moon?
No, absolutely not.
No.
You don't
It,
think
it
so?
would have been commercialized by now.
Yeah.
You know,
What do you mean, like they did trips to the moon to see the flag, or what?
absolutely. Yeah. There would have been sponsorships. There would have been ownership. Did America really put the first flag on there? So is it ours? Historically, that's how it's always worked. You get there first and plant your flag.
Well, that's true.
Right? North America didn't exist till Christopher Columbus. Everybody knows that. There was nobody here.
How'd
He
that work
found
out?
it, right?
How'd that work out?
Yeah,
I'm
see?
going Bo Bennett from the ranch. A flag cannot wave in the vacuum of space. It's bullshit. The flag's all over there. Woo. How's that happen? Yeah, no.
It's space wind. It's there's a science. Yeah.
I'd be very careful when I ask this question. So it's funny because I was joking with Seth about this. The flat Earth thing.
Oh my god.
I've figured out that some people I know and love do believe that, and
Yeah.
I'm making fun of it in front of them, and they're like, "Actually, Larry," and I'm like, "Oh shit."
Just let your freak flag.
Awkward. It's like insulting someone's religion to their face, you
A
know,
little
and
bit.
you didn't know that they were that religion with this, because they're like, actually, there's a lot of scientific proof, Larry, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't believe I trusted you everyone. I love you, but okay, anyway. Yeah. Anyway,
I think our weekend plans aren't going to happen like we had previously talked about there, buddy. I think I'm going to go on a different fishing trip.
yeah, yeah.
When I meet people like that, like I have this code that I live by. Like I'm gonna force you to listen to my opinion, but I don't give two fucks about yours. So I'm gonna walk away as soon as I'm done. So,
That's nice, Yolanda. Nice. All right.
you started it.
Well, guys, that was it, man. Before we get going, though, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium, man. Thanks for letting us have this podcast studio down here. It's owned by 4 local people that do such an amazing job, you know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you guys eaten here, you guys have eaten
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Food is amazing, you know, pizza, wings, you name it. And they're adding more stuff all the time, flatbread sandwiches. Summer's coming, ice cream. And on the north wall, they have a bunch of old school board games.
Yep.
Come in for a family night, play some board games with the kids.
So we
Yeah, they've been fantastic, man. So 210 Clayton Street, please support these guys because they do support this podcast. And I'm here because they have their support. So also, if you like what you see on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little red dot. That's our subscribe button, man. Go and click that. It's a small click for you, but it's a huge click for the podcast. And having said none of my horns done, guys, thank you. It's so good to see you guys. What do you say, yo? Sorry.
The one more shout out to the Emporium. There's not a lot of places that have a good gluten-free pizza, and we've brought his grandma out. She's gluten-free, and she said it's a delicious pizza for being gluten-free. So
Right.
there's that too.
Right. They do a lot of different, and it's funny. I call Yo with the mad scientist. Like, you know, I get fed well here when he starts like, Larry, you want to try this new one? I'm like, you know, but a pizza I don't like, but of course I want to try. You know,
Is there bonbons?
put it in my mouth. Put it in my mouth right now. Yeah, put that.
I got to
in my
keep
mouth.
it in the 100-mile radius, right? That's the key. Wherever I end up. All right. No, we're good.
Yeah. So they've been so good, but it's been awesome to see you guys, man. It's been too long. You've been on the podcast a bunch of times. So the fun part about this is every 12 episodes you can come back because the questions rotate. Every episode I pull one off and I add another one. So in 12 questions, we'll have to bring you guys back. Maybe we'll get Jackson on the podcast one of these days. He's not listening to me.
No,
he's yellowed over there. I don't know what he's doing. So, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll catch you next week. Peace.